Hey, what's happening, my people? So I got some great news today. I think it's great news. So I'm simultaneously in the Court of Appeals and the Michigan Supreme Court. It's they do different. They serve different functions. Um, I've learned that if you're representing yourself, which you should be, right? Like the judiciary is they're the purported gatekeepers of our civil liberties. If nothing else, people should be able to represent themselves in that courtroom. But what's been designed is a system where it's a for-profit system where you think you need these attorneys to stand up for truth. What the fuck is that? To stand up for truth? I can't just tell the truth and let it be the truth. The truth doesn't win always. Who created this fucking system? It's nonsense. It's complete fucking nonsense. Legalese, I mean, going back to the Greeks, I mean, that legalese was written to confuse the working person, to keep them out of the courtroom. Why? So you have to go hire an attorney. You keep this system running. When on the criminal front, when you're dealing with indigent people, they can't afford to represent themselves. So you take the taxpayer dollars to represent that. You keep the system going. It's about the system, the behemoth. That's what it's about. It has nothing to do with the people. So if you can't walk into a courtroom to stand up for your own civil liberties, something is fucking severely broken, right? So everybody told me don't do it. I mean, I could have, Mike Morris's guy, they referred me to a good guy early on. And I just didn't like the money play. It was the quickest. This is what attorneys are trained to do. This is how they feel they're representing their client. Get them out of that fucking courtroom, right? Because it's so expensive. Get them the fuck out of there, or get them to the money quick, right? Like that's how it is. And criminal, just get it done. You don't want. It's basically slavery. I mean, it really human trafficking. Is a better definition, because number one, you didn't ask to be there. Number two, most people haven't. They've been violated in some form or fashion because most people don't even have enough probable cause. Probable means probable. It doesn't mean possible. Over a 50% chance that the person committed that crime. So when I was in jail, illegally incarcerated, most of the people in there were waiting for what's called a probable cause. They don't even hide it anymore. It used to be called preliminary, but now it's a probable cause conference. What the fuck is that? They're in jail. They can't afford to get out because their bond is too high for them. So they're sitting in jail, cash register running, and they're waiting for a probable cause hearing. Well, the Fourth Amendment says you can't be arrested. They can't take your freedom because you maybe did something. You know what I mean? Like there's a guy in there that was got busted. He didn't even get busted. He didn't do it. They said he was trying to steal beer. The guy doesn't drink. He was like an 80-something-year-old man. He thought he was in there because one day he did walk out with a sandwich. He was hungry. He didn't have money. He didn't have any money, and he didn't pay for a sandwich that he was eating when he walked out. When he went to court, that wasn't what they had him there for. They had him there because they said he was in the back room stealing beer on facial recognition 2 months after the fact. That wasn't him. and I'm almost positive that facial recognition for African Americans is inadmissible right now, or possibly inadmissible. Something in the technology doesn't read it properly. So he's a black guy, 80-year-old black guy. They pulled him over in Rochester, and then they had a warrant for this facial recognition. What the fuck? You know what I mean? So the guy, he lost his job because he's sitting in jail. He can't afford to pay. It was like a $500 bond. He doesn't have it. You know what I mean? Living paycheck to paycheck. He's sitting in jail waiting for them to determine probable fucking cause. What the fuck? So what happens now? So he can't afford an attorney. So now the taxpayers are paying for the attorney, which is fine. But if it was a real thing, so what is that attorney going to do? That attorney is going to talk him into taking a lower plea. So he's going to get something on his criminal record. He's going to be in the system, probably going to get probation, but you're not going to have to do any time. So this is the best thing we got for you. Motherfucker, no, it ain't. If you were living according to the Constitution, that man would be out of there, but you're not. Because that attorney's job is to walk him in there, get the best deal for the system, not for him. Because if these attorneys were fighting for him, they wouldn't be doing what's best for the system. They'd be doing what's best for him, no matter fucking what. And that's what I did for me. I did what was best for me and my kids, no matter fucking what. And I love my kids so much that I saw the dismal future they were walking into, and I said, I ain't a good fucking father if I take the short end on this just for comfort, because I had partnership deals up the fucking ass. I built that company. That company, there's a lot of lawsuits against them right now, but that company was able to live without me there based on what I built, not what that dump. He didn't do a fucking thing. He was a mascot at best, and now it's in the shitter where I knew it would be. And that's why, I had $1 million on the table to buy these fuckers out and just shut my mouth and take the company back over and let it thrive. And I said, no, I said, he shit on integrity. So the only way this company gets repaired now is that dumb fucker fixes it. And it didn't happen. So I didn't take that. One partnership deal I wound up bailing on. I didn't like the guy. It was all about money and get out there and grind and blah, blah. I don't need that shit in my life. And I remember walking into my house one day, and before we lost it, and I had a late bill from DTE. I'm about to shut it off, and I had this partnership deal, and the hail had just come, and there was money raining from the sky, literally, and I had just closed 4 deals that day. I was like $250,000 in one day, and I didn't like how the guy was doing things, and I knew it wasn't right for me. But I'm looking at this bill, and I remember walking into my house. And I walked down to my office, and this is the same thing that happened at my office when this compass told me to leave that screen name on my computer, because they would make rumors about it. They would look at that, and they would dig into my past, and they would try to create rumors to justify what they did before it went public. I hadn't even been accused of anything yet. So, and they did exactly that, exactly fucking that, worse than I could have even conceived. But I'm walking down to my desk right before, like at the bottom, I still remember it. It's like so clear in my fucking mind. I get to the bottom step, and like one of my biggest goals in life was to, as a poor kid, you don't ever want to be on welfare again. You know what I mean? Like it's so embarrassing, and it really shouldn't be. But because when people need it, they need it. That's what it's there for. But it's become this part of that system, and more than anything, I didn't want my kids to see me like that, when I'm playing superhero or whatever, and I remember getting to that bottom step, and and this compass says, you have to let them do it to you. You have to let you call. I remember just being guided, said call DHS and get help with that bill. Like a motherfucker, like that, it tore me up. I remember, like I still remember the visceral emotion, because it just felt like such a fucking failure. But in truth, I did nothing to fail. And at the end of this, it's all win, right? Like it's really fighting for the right thing. It's not when you're in this shame prison. Well, you don't want to be on welfare. You got to be so. Even if somebody did you wrong, well, just make sure nobody knows that you're failing in life, because failing in life is when you're not paying your bills that they prescribe you with. You know what I mean? You're not paying your taxes that they prescribe you with. When you're not feeding their fucking system, they make you feel shamed, like you're a bad person. But no, I was standing up to the system. I was standing up to all the injustices. I was doing what a lot of people won't. But I didn't see that then, because I was still very much, we're all indoctrinated. And, so anyway, I get to that bottom step, and it says, no, you're gonna have to go on welfare, man. And that you're gonna be able to use that. That's gonna work out in your advantage. But you gotta take it on the chin right now. And I remember that, I think it was Memorial Weekend or something like that. My daughter had a sleepover or some shit with her friends, and I'm battling with myself. I'm down at my desk, and I know I don't have to. I know I just did $250,000 in that day. I know there's so much more out there. I built my company on less, and with this guy as a partner, we would have dwarfed it in warp speed time. But then I would have been in this the money pit, right? So you start making it. What the fuck is going on with my head? Bed hair, don't care. Anyway, so we would have dwarfed them, and I thought that was my goal. I was like, you know what? I just want to smash these guys. And that's it. I'd smash them, but it was my ego talking. I'd been playing superhero to my kids, and I realized that in doing that, you neglect your kids. When you don't involve them in your downtime, You know what I mean? Like when you're suffering as a parent, or when you don't bring them into the fold on that and allow them to help you, you're actually neglecting your child. And I didn't know that. But I remember, like so what else comes over? What else came over me in that moment was I was about to black glove it up. Honestly, go back to my old days now. And I had this vision in my head. I was going to drive down to the office because it was only 2 miles from my house, and I was going to smash my partner's fucking face in on the desk until all of his teeth fell out, and then make him pick them up. Like that's the sick shit that was going through my head. And I come from a place where that's the kind of shit that happens. You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand my fucking resilience. If my dad said he was going to kill you, he might kill you. My biological father. My aunt was stabbed 37 times by her husband. He wasn't threatening her. He wasn't saying, if you do. He was trying to kill her. She lived. Bad motherfucker. But yeah. So that's where I come from. For people who don't understand that, because I don't talk about it a whole lot. I'll allude to it, but like even talking about it brings up old shit. Playing with dad's gun, fucking, and getting my ass beat to a fucking pulp at 9 months old. I don't remember that one, but I was in the hospital with my mom. He gave us a dual beating. You know, so, and they did what they did. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, like killers. People that didn't value human life, even their own. Not all of them, but you know, that's the lineage. So my resilience is that when I say you're going to have to fucking kill me, you're going to have to fucking kill me, motherfucker. And I ain't afraid of death at all. And I can't be bought, obviously. So when I'm going through this thing in my fucking head, I finally, because like, here were my choices. Go on welfare. Go out there and kill it where you know you're not happy. There's something missing. There was a big void there, and just going out there and making money. Fucking massive void. And I knew that was neglect. So my choices at this point, I can't do that. But I don't want to go on welfare. And I want to, like, my visceral drive was go smash this motherfucker's head in until I was, and anybody else who was there that wanted to get in the way. Like, and I could have walked in there and just did whatever the fuck I wanted. Then I would have went to prison probably. And then he gets away with it, right? So, but it's not even that. That violence, is that the world I want my kids born into? You know what I mean? Because if I perpetuate it, then that's what they're going to experience when they're older. And I knew that. So what happens then when the ego breaks down? I'm fucking crying. You know what I mean? Like, it's like sobbing. And this is where my therapy came into play, because you know, it happened when Vinny had his incident too. I dropped to the floor and I let off this fucking massive sob. And I used to look at Marlon Brando in the Stella scene in Streetcar. I'd be like, nobody fucking emotes like that. No, I didn't, because it was all compartmentalized. And that was the first time it ever happened with Vinny in real life, where it just fucking came out. And then after it, I was, that shit's real, you know. And I got to feel not good about the situation, but it allowed me to actually be in the reality of the moment. So, and Vinny doesn't know how strong he is. He beats suicide and autism. That's a bad motherfucker, you know. And because I was able to feel and not want this to be something different than what it was, I was able to be there for him. And I realized I wasn't listening. I was listening to my upbringing as a kid, but they live in a whole different world with social media. And when he was saying this pandemic's really hard on me, I wasn't hearing it because I was listening as an adult who's like, fuck this pandemic, you know what I mean? Like, we can brush it off. We've earned resilience, and we can get through situations like that. And it might seem menial to some of us, but to a kid who only knows school and his life with his parents, that's everything he's fucking got. And they just ripped the rug out right from under him, and I wasn't hearing it. And after that moment, I was like, I gotta listen. I gotta stop trying to project my reality onto him and listen to what he tells me, and my daughter. I gotta listen to them, and it helped me be better with humans. Like, just if you listen, then you might learn something. You know what I mean? If you're always trying to project your own inner experience onto people, so that you can solve your life through them, you're gonna fail. That's codependence. That's what the bulk of the globe is. So anyway, I had one of those moments right then, because I really didn't want to fucking do the welfare thing, but I really knew it was the right thing. You know, I had to let them do this to me if I was going to successfully change the system. And I still didn't know what that meant. It was just a compass that was driving me. I didn't know what it meant, but I knew it was right. And so I just broke down sobbing. And my daughter had never seen me cry. So, and that's a flaw. That was me playing Superman. So she came down, and I was like, oh shit, I started brushing, but I was busted. And you should be. Every man should cry in front of their daughter and their son. Show them what being a man is. So in that moment, she's so sweet too. This is how she is. She just cares so much. It can be dangerous too, because she cares so much about others. She saw her dad crying, and I remember she's like, Dad, I don't have to. It was so awkward because the moment was just like so real, that I even feel it now. It's making me tear up. But so she didn't know what to do. She was frozen. She's like, oh shit, I just saw. It's like seeing a ghost or some shit. This man who plays Superman and pulled him. They don't even know what poverty is, really, on a grand scale, because of what me and their mom created for them. And now she sees this wall of a man. There's whatever image I projected broke down, and she's like, Dad, I don't have to go stay with my friends this weekend if you want. I was like, no, Vinny's staying. We're gonna bark. And so she's standing, more than 6 feet away, and I thought she'd walked away, and I put my head back down on the desk, and then I just felt her hug me. I was like, oh shit, it just got realer, and it did, and in that moment, I realized that I wasn't challenging them, or even including them in the real parts of my life, which isn't, it's going to leave a void in a kid if they don't get to be a part of your hard times too. And from that moment forward, I realized, like, just honesty, emotion, like all that real shit that we're told to hide from people. That's what makes you human. That's what makes you real. That's the shit we need to be projecting into AI right now, because AI will emulate that and program it faster than humans, and it'll get us to our utopian singularity quicker. That's how this movement, the human AI interface for a more utopian universe. That's another movement that I'm working on right now, and it's going well with AI. But that was formulated pretty much out of that moment, like where everything changed, like from with mine and the kids' relationship. It just got stronger. It got stronger, better. In this time that I've had to be apart from them, these kids have never once said, I hate you, or whatever, like the shit that I heard all the time as a kid, or there's never been a motherfucker, or they've never even cussed in front of me. I mean, they've slipped and whatever, but they've never there's never been an I hate you. When the phones were disconnected, it's okay, Dad. I know damn well it ain't okay, motherfucker. I didn't say that, but I'm thinking in my head, I'd be a prick, But I was a product of what my parents had done, and what I realized is they were a product of what me and their mom had done, and we did something different. And so I did the different thing. I did the thing I didn't have to do. I didn't take the money to buy him out. I didn't take the partnership. I bailed on that. I didn't like how he was. And then I called DTE, and I had them do that state emergency shit, and it was painful. But all my court fees got waived. And I just found out today that I'm in both courts simultaneous. I didn't know you could do that. I just did something when I was, I didn't like the technicalities from the lower court. But what I've learned is the Court of Appeals is highly technical, procedural. So I've learned more. So now I have a new case in there, and it can be simultaneous to the, because it's a different case, to the Michigan Supreme Court. So I'm going to be fucking these dudes up in both courts. And, and then there's still the U.S. Supreme Court beyond that. This is highly constitutional. But what it equates to is your unalienable rights in the way that this system is run. It's a corporate system for profit. The thing that froze the judge when I got in that courtroom and they were trying to put technicalities on me to keep me quiet, I said, what does this have to do with truth, justice, and liberty for all? Nothing. He froze like a deer. I swear to God, like a deer in the headlights. He was like, and he didn't say shit because he couldn't say shit. He would have had to have lied on record to justify it, or he would have had to say nothing, tell the truth. It's for profit. That's what we're doing here. Froze like a deer in the headlights, and I ran that motherfucker for 3.5 hours, and every move since then has been to shut me up. But now I'm in the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court at the same time. It's your ass, motherfuckers. Excuse my brash approach, but sorry, not sorry. It's my time. It's the people's time, and we're gonna get this system back. I love you guys.